Namaste, this is Samta Auntie. In this video, we're going to review how to politely ask for things by saying, may I have a fork? Or may I have a spoon? Or anything else. So let's get started. So these are the words that we're going to be using to ask for things. A gilas, kanta, chammach, napkin, katori, and thali. These are all words that you've already learned in class. And we're going to pretend that we are going out for lunch together. So here's me, Samtanti, wearing the sari in the middle with all my bachus, all my students. And we are going to go out for lunch and we want to politely ask for things. Like if we need a spoon or a fork, then we need to know how to politely ask for one. So the sentence that we're going to be practicing is, may I have, and then you see a blank line there because we're going to fill in that blank with whatever we're asking for. And here's the Hindi sentences. Kya mujhe, and you see the blank line again for whatever you want. Kya mujhe, let's pretend we're asking for a spoon. Kya mujhe chammach mil sakta hai? Kya mujhe chammach mil sakta hai? May I have a spoon? All right, but now underneath that I put another line. Kya mujhe, and then let's ask for a bowl. क्या मुझे कटोरी मिल सकती है? क्या मुझे कटोरी मिल सकती है? So, here's the thing, okay? If whatever you're asking for ends with an E sound, like thali and katori, then you say mil sakti. If what you're asking for ends with an a sound or anything else, then you say mil sakta. Okay? So, again, if it ends with an e sound, you say mil sakti. If it ends with an a sound or anything else, you say mil sakta. All right. So how would we ask for a fork? A fork is a kanta, ends with an a. So what would our sentence be? क्या मुझे कांटा मिल सकता है? क्या मुझे कांटा मिल सकता है? Now what about a spoon? Spoon is chammach. That doesn't end with an a or an e. It ends with a cha. And our rule was that if it ends with anything other than an a or an e, then, if it ends with an a or anything else, then we use mil sakta because it also doesn't end with an e, right? So our sentence is क्या मुझे चम्मच मिल सकता है? क्या मुझे चम्मच मिल सकता है? Now let's ask for a glass. A glass in Hindi is gilas. Does that end in an e sound? No. So we know we're not going to say mil sakti. We're going to say mil sakta. So let's do the sentence. क्या मुझे गिलास मिल सकता है? Now what about thali? That ends with an e, right? So then our sentence would be क्या मुझे थाली मिल सकती है? क्या मुझे थाली मिल सकती है? What about katori? Katori ends with an e, right? Katori ends with an e. So we would say क्या मुझे कटोरी मिल सकती है? क्या मुझे कटोरी मिल सकती है? All right, now let's practice again with our spoon. Our fork. A fork is a kanta. Kanta. So would we use a mil sakta or mil sakti? It would be mil sakta. And what about for a spoon? A spoon is a chammach. So would it be mil sakta or mil sakti? It would be mil sakta, right? Because according to our rules, if it ends in an e, we use mil sakti. If it ends in anything else, we use mil sakta. All right. What about for a gilas? A gilas, would that be a mil sakta or mil sakti? Mil sakta. And what about thali? Plate is thali. Would that be mil sakta or mil sakti? Mil sakti. And what about katori? Would that be mil sakta or mil sakti? Mil sakti. All right, now let's ask for this food. So we have pizza, roti dal sabzi, pasta, dosa, and samosa. So pizza doesn't end with an E, so we would say mil sakta. So we would say kya mujhe pizza mil sakta hai. Roti dal sabzi, that ends with an E. क्या मुझे रोटी दाल सब्जी मिल सकती है? What about pasta? क्या मुझे पास्ता मिल सकता है? Dosa. क्या मुझे डोसा मिल सकता है? Samosa. क्या मुझे समोसा मिल सकता है? All right, so now we have our pizza, roti dal sabzi, pasta, dosa, and samosas that we asked for. Now let's practice on some beverages. We have water, milk, and apple juice. So water in Hindi is pani. So what I want to tell you here is that this is the exception to the rule. An exception to a rule means something that doesn't follow the rule. So even though pani ends with E, whatever reason, the Hindi fairies decided that even though pani ends with E, we are still going to say mil sakta. So, क्या मुझे पानी मिल सकता है? Okay, I know it doesn't follow the rule, but this is one exception to the rule. All right, next one. What about milk? Milk in Hindi is दूध. So we say, क्या मुझे दूध मिल सकता है? And apple juice is सेब का juice. So, क्या मुझे सेब का juice मिल सकता है? So in none of these we used mil sakti. Okay, so let's do the sentence again for water. क्या मुझे पानी मिल सकता है? Remember, even though pani ends with E, it doesn't follow our rule. The Hindi fairies decided that this word was not going to follow the rule. क्या मुझे पानी मिल सकता है? May I have water? What about milk? Milk is दूध. क्या मुझे दूध मिल सकता है? May I have milk? And finally, apple juice. क्या मुझे सेब का जूस मिल सकता है? May I have apple juice? So, now you know how to use all your polite manners to ask for things, and not just food and drinks, but anything really. And what a nice thing for us to learn, right? Because we always want to speak with good manners. So, dhanyavad for joining me. Keep practicing this, and I'll see you in class.